Hey guys, today I'm really excited to talk about Veigar, who I think is one of the most underrated champions lore-wise in the game, and who also is one of the most tragic. Veigar, most people know this, was tortured by Mordekaiser. Um, Not in the direct way that you'd think, but through the actions that he made Veigar take. Um, Most people know that, and that's what turned him evil, right? Now, what a lot of people don't know is about Veigar from before this happened, and the more intricate details and why it was as devastating as it was for him specifically. Now, first of all, you need to understand Yordles are spiritual in nature. They're also just naturally benevolent for the most part. They're mischievous at times, but overall they turn out good. And Veigar was. He was helping the Noxide people, a group of them, learn a type of celestial magic that wasn't directly stated, but seemed to likely be pulling off the aspect of hope, if that exists. Um, all around, great sounding guy, right? Well, Mordekaiser saw this as an opportunity and captured Veigar to use for his own nefarious purposes. He was having Veigar do not specified, but what was likely um, torture, maiming, killing, all kinds of terrible things in order to further Mordekaiser's power through suffering. So, over time, and keep in mind, this wasn't a small amount of time this was happening. Okay, this was years and years and years, like likely centuries. It says decades, centuries, a very long time. So keep in mind, we've learned that these are social creatures, the Yordles. So he was secluded, right? Mordekaiser kept him out of Bandle City by basically chaining him to the physical realm, so he couldn't go back home. Okay. His only interactions were harming others and Mordekaiser, both not very good, right? So after such a long time of that, the Veigar's very being was warped, right? His magic was warped, his appearance was warped to some extent through his eyes. Um, and he changed his appearance, clothing too. He got armor that fits more into Mordekaiser's style, that sort of dominant, like aggressive armor. Now, what's interesting is that his nature of being benevolent kind of sticks through even what he believes he's wanting to do. What I mean by that is that Veigar regularly tries to be evil, but fails, ends up doing something good. Now, obviously, he does some stuff that's bad. Like it's stated in the lore, he's raising fields and stuff. He is genuinely trying to be evil, but often ends up killing bandits or defeating other evil wizards and doing stuff in general that just the populace doesn't know if they should view as like a good thing or an accidental like win for them that was bad. You know, it's really interesting to see that versus other Yordles who have like very um, like standard lifestyles, with the exception of Kled. But well, Kled and sometimes Ziggs, but Kled is a different beast on his own. I think his lore needs more fleshing out. But Veigar is super interesting. I really recommend reading his story. I mean, he represents the very extreme to which a Yordle can be warped through outside forces and what they could be um, in a negative light, as opposed to most of the kind of funny, goofy ones we see. And he is presented kind of goofy, but at his core, he's a tortured soul that has been through more than almost anyone in the story, of League of Legends has experienced. I mean, what happened to him and what he was forced to do was vile. Like underneath that goofy, cartoonish, evil laughing and bullshit you hear in the game is a truly just torn apart character. Um, it's one thing that I like and hate is that kind of facade you see on the front prevents most people from learning about what's behind it. Um, but hopefully, at least a few people can, see this admittedly very low quality video and be interested enough to just look into him more and Yordles in general, because I think he's a good gateway into learning how really interesting Yordles can be. And while a lot of this stuff isn't fleshed out with them yet, I think there's a lot of potential in them if you can look past how annoying they usually end up being in game. and how lacking some of their lore is because they've never been really given anything as deep, I think, as some of the other races in the game. Um, but I don't know. I just really wanted to talk about him. Uh, I just felt the urge. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.